Summerside Wilmot.
Mr. Speaker, last week the Education Minister told media there were hundreds of substitutes in the system. But when I asked how many were able to actually step in today and fill in for teachers who have COVID or are close contacts, I didn't get an answer. Things do not look better this week. I'm hearing from teachers who say they already know that getting a substitute won't be an option for them, and they have no idea how their school is going to make it through this week. Question to the Minister of Education. Teachers are telling me that you have a problem. I ask you again, how much wiggle room is in the system, and is it enough?
Honourable Minister of Education, Lifelong Learning.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. So as of last week, I don't have the updated numbers, but we had 345 certified subs, 127 uncertified, 30 itinerant. Again, we speak about the graduates through the PEI Bachelor of Education program and the Dell staff being redeployed. I spoke about all this last week. Mr. Speaker, so yesterday I was informed that there was about 150 vacancies last night, and Mr. Speaker, the staff at the PSB and the CSLF, they were up until midnight and beyond filling those positions, and by this morning all those positions were filled, Mr. Speaker. So they're working hard, and I really truly can't say enough about the people in these roles who are trying to fill these positions, recognizing this is the most challenging time we've had as an education system. We're 4 days away from March break. Everybody's going to need a deep breath and some fresh air, Mr. Speaker. But we are getting through this. We haven't had to close down any schools, Mr. Speaker. And again, I just want to say thank you to all those involved. Thank you. Also, one thing that was mentioned to me on the phone this morning was every sub that was called last night, the first thing they said was, yes, absolutely, I'll be there. Thank you very much.
Summerside Wilmot.
Mr. Speaker, I can tell you where those positions are being filled from. They're being filled with speech-language pathologists and occupational therapists and autism consultants. We are pulling people from critical roles and asking them to act as classroom subs. When you are doing this, you are pulling people who are already in high demand. You are pulling people who already have incredible workloads. And when you do this, you create an unmanageable system for people. These specialists, Minister, already have backlogs. Do you think this is fair to students who need those supports or educators?
Honourable Minister of Education, Lifelong Learning.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And again, I cannot acknowledge and say thank you enough to the people who are stepping up every day to support our students and our staff, Mr. Speaker. These are extenuating circumstances, Mr. Speaker, and it's not going to be forever. I recognize that these are challenging times, and I know that people are going outside of their areas of responsibilities to step in to help support the students. And I guess the alternative, and I don't know if this is what the member wants, is for us to shut down the schools again. Is that what the member wants? Like, our schools, our kids need to be in classrooms, Mr. Speaker. Our kids I've had more parents than you can imagine reaching out to me, more students than you can imagine reaching out to me, and teachers as well, Mr. Speaker, staff that want to be in those classrooms. So we're going to continue on this train. We got 4 days left, again, before March break, and then everybody can take a break, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Summerside Wilmot, final question.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know if the minister thinks that teachers and educational assistants like to be treated like Tetris pieces that she can just move around and shove in to fill spaces, but they don't. They don't like it. We have psychologists, Minister, who are being told to cancel their appointments with students, cancel assessments with students to act as substitutes. The Teachers Federation warned you about this in January at the beginning of the month, and they warned you at the end of the month, and you did nothing about it. Mr. Speaker, cases are skyrocketing, and if numbers keep skyrocketing like this, the minister is going to run out of people to move around. Question to the same minister. Part of valuing teachers and EAs means listening to them. Will you talk to school staff about what living through your contingency plan is like in real life?
Honourable Minister of Education, Lifelong Learning.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I did nothing about this. That statement is just absolutely absurd, Mr. Speaker. I have worked 24 hours a day for the last couple of months to make sure that these schools continued, so our kids could be in the classroom, so our staff could be in the classroom. Mr. Speaker, the honourable member, I would love for her to sit in my seat for one day to understand the challenges associated with this position and the various needs of all of our stakeholders, Mr. Speaker. The TF has a role. Everyone everyone has a role to play in this. They've voiced their concerns, but the amount of people who have come forward to me and said, you know, Minister, it's not perfect, but it's working, and our kids are being educated, and they're with their classmates, Mr. Speaker. They're in safe spaces. Some of them are away from family violence situations, Mr. Speaker. So I am going to continue to work 24 hours a day to ensure this thing is successful. I want to thank everybody who's there. Thank you very much.